Salaams, everyone. Welcome to the Sins and Salaams podcast, where we are going to share our thoughts and experiences on growing up in the Muslim community through funny yet serious stories and topics. We are so excited to finally release these episodes, and we really want to hear from you. Please follow and share your thoughts with us on Instagram at Sins&Salaams, and you can also email us at sinsandsalams@gmail.com or leave us a review on whichever platform you're listening from. Please don't forget to turn on the notification bell as we release new episodes every Friday. Now let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to Sins and Salaams. This is Sabrine.
This is Firdaus.
Dr. Firdaus. And welcome back to another episode. I'm really excited with how last week's went. I'm really proud of the work we did. What did you think of last week's episode?
It was good. I'm excited about this week's, and inshallah for the next episodes coming up.
Yeah, I really think we're doing some quality stuff here. Really proud of ourselves.
Absolutely.
Mashallah, sister. So yeah, how's your week been other than that?
Alhamdulillah. It's been good, except for, Muslim shenanigans.
Yeah, Ramadan is peak shenanigan time, honestly. Yeah, they just...
How was yours?
It's good. I'm just waiting on that Ramadan fight. I've yet to come across one. But
okay.
I don't want to say inshallah, but low-key.
Okay. Low-key, high-key?
Low-key, high-key. But anyways, so today's episode, it's a really great topic. I really just also want to dedicate this episode to the Muslims named Muhammad that go by Mo, the Osamas that go by Sam, the Abdullahs or Abu Bakrs or Abd whatevers that be going by Abdu or Abdul, they be going by that. Shout out to y'all, because this one, I want you guys to take this episode to heart. I do. And in the words of YG, you have fear in your heart, so you cooperate. So yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. So today's episode is also called Muslims Are Weak. Weaklings.
Facts.
Yeah. Very weak.
Especially on the topics that we're going to talk about today. So
yeah. Just weak overall. I wish I knew more words for weak to just further explain, but here we are. So what are your thoughts on that topic? Muslims are weak. What comes to mind when I say that?
I feel like the biggest thing for me is like Muslims trying to blend into society and trying to get acceptance by others and not standing up for what they value and what they believe. So that's the thing that pops in my head.
Yeah, that's a very big one. They just be
doing the most.
They just be doing the most.
For no reason.
Fear is misplaced.
For no reason.
For no reason. And it's just like, y'all really expecting a lot from non-Muslims. All the time.
But are non-Muslims expecting a lot? Vice versa?
They're not.
No.
They're not. And then y'all are out here embarrassing yourselves with World Hijab Day. They are out here tweeting hashtags, posting, these are my favorite hijabs. Hijab outfit of the day. Looking stupid.
Okay.
Yeah. Dang. I feel like that was a little mean.
Everybody's entitled to an opinion. So
I said
hey,
you're right. We say what we say on this podcast. We say what we say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. With what you're saying, though, for real, in terms of, like, us really trying to have this, like, blend into society and try to make everybody think of Islam in a certain type of way. Essentially, just moving in a way where we're trying to preserve the image of Islam just be really making us weak, because the way we're doing about it doesn't even align with Islamic values at all.
Right.
I think one of the biggest ways that this happens is through our interfaith events and our focus is on da'wah as a community, because y'all are like, these are such prevalent topics or prevalent events at every masjid I go to or every MSA.
Right. And I feel like the da'wah is always the same. Mm-hmm. It's always like trying to convert people to Islam, but then you guys are not following through with the tools that they need to be provided.
Yep.
Or if it's always like, oh, the masjid is in need of money and then you have people donating hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But my question is, where's that money going to? Because I'm highly confused as to where the money is going to.
I feel like it goes to buying Qur'ans to give out to non-Muslims.
So you're telling me if somebody donated $100,000 to a masjid, they're gonna go buy Qur'ans for worth $100,000?
That's how they be act. I feel like that's how they be acting though.
Well, I'm confused because I have questions.
It's just. I mean, we're gonna say this on every podcast. Publish the receipts.
I need the receipts.
We need the receipts on all the masjids. I don't think we'll ever truly know where the money is going.
I understand paying the bills. I just don't understand why are you constantly at every prayer, and you are a very, if the community is very well off, mashallah, and they're always giving out. Why are you always asking for money? And then on top of that, this is something else. Let me talk about this, because this be irritating me, especially during Ramadan, where you go to masjids and the sheikh or the imam is always like, okay, well, it's time to give out sadaqah money, or who's gonna whatever. But then you guys are embarrassing people and be like, oh, Hussein, last year you donated $10,000, or Omar or Fatima or whatever. And that's not the way you're supposed to do it if we're going back to the way that it's supposed to be, because your right hand is not supposed to see what your left hand is giving in, whether it's sadaqah or whatever it is. So to me, that's just so, I just don't understand why we need to publicize and shame people in front of others, because you don't know what people's circumstances are.
Yeah.
So to me, that makes no sense. So I don't know. I just be like,
And that's like the shame and the guilt, I think, are just like, these are just the key factors at this point when it comes to just, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but like, even if you think about interfaith and dawah, like, y'all put so much effort into
attending other Christian
communities
or other Jewish events or whatever
y'all
it is.
Putting so much effort into that. When on it, like, as a hijabi, I'm telling y'all right now, my whole life is interfaith event. Okay, everywhere I go is interfaith.
Okay.
If I go to Meyer, that is interfaith. If I'm going to Walmart, interfaith. Okay. So I just don't understand, like, interfaith events have always felt weird to me, because it really feels like we just bringing in people to watch us.
Okay, yeah, I can see what you're saying.
It just feels like that. Like, they're just watching us.
Or like follow a Muslim day.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
It's just weird, because it's like, we're not even really like, I feel like we don't even really talk about, you know what, let me not say that, because I don't be going to interfaith events because I think they're dumb. But like, I just feel like they're not even really, like, I don't understand what the end goal is. What's the end goal of an interfaith event?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been in a long time. I don't know.
Like, but like, when you went,
I feel like
it's more,
it's more of like teaching people about Islam and what is the goal of Islam and stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of a way of promoting to try to, get people to see why Muslims act the way they do or whatever. So it's kind of like, in a way, depending on how it's set up, but it's like also like a validation from the other individuals.
It's a huge validation.
I don't know. That's why I stopped going years ago.
Because it's weird. It's weird. Like, I don't understand what validation they're supposed to provide for you.
I don't know. I feel like when people find the validation within themselves, they don't need validation from anyone else. Yeah. And so I feel like what's wrong with the Muslim community as a whole is that we're always seeking out validation from other communities, from other religions, from everyone else, but within our community and within ourselves.
Do you think it has anything to do with arrogance as Muslims? Because I think
depends on which. I feel like it depends on. I feel like with the Arabs, okay. Let me just
go ahead.
I just feel like with the Arabs, depending on which Arab you are, everybody, there's like an arrogance to it, like Khaliji. Yeah. So like, I'm not saying all, but I'm saying from my experience okay. But I'm just saying from my experience and for what I went through, the Khaliji, so like you have the Saudis, the Yemenis especially, you have like the Iraqis, people from the Gulf. It's just like this, we are the how do you say it?
The chosen ones.
Like the chosen ones, and I'm just like, relax. Like, I know I don't look like the typical Arab or whatever. So like, I remember when I used to go to the masjid and I would just say salam. Like, my thing is like, I'm just giving salam for sabilillah. Like, if I don't know you, I'm gonna give salam. And I know like the Yemeni women, the Saudi girls used to just look at me like, okay, anyways, like I don't see you, you don't see me, we don't see each other. And I used to be like, girl, it's not bothering me. Like your malaika is gonna give salams back.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just, it's like this arrogance that they have about them. Like, oh, the prophets were here in our land and we have the house of Allah here. So they put a standard to themselves. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, get off of your camel and please, come down to where you're at. Absolutely.
But the camel. I do think it has it does, you're right, like it has to do with arrogance, because like for us to, I'm trying to think.
Because if you think about it, here in Indiana locally, we have over 22 masjids. Yeah. To me, that's just ridiculous why we have that amount. And I feel like it's a competition within different cultures, different, oh, you're darker than me, I'm lighter, you're white, you can't be this, you can't be... Like, okay, well, I didn't know when I was in my mom's womb that I was like, oh, let me pick and choose what I want to be, So I feel like it's that arrogance also amongst cultures and amongst which Muslim country you're from. Like, I know there was a masjid here that for like years, they didn't allow sisters to come in.
Oh, I remember I went to that masjid one Ramadan and I literally prayed outside on rocks.
And to me, that's just crazy. Like where does it say that? I want to
fight you guys. I want to, y'all be making me want to fight. Because y'all put all this effort into trying to show other non-Muslims or whatever that we're people with morals and values, that we have a strong faith. But then y'all be doing dumb stuff like that where you're having sisters pray outside. Right. For what?
Because there's no room here.
Yeah, sister. And they're always trying to make, and I feel like, and this is what I'm saying, the arrogance is coming from, because like we're always trying to like make everything like hush hush. Don't let the white people see. And we're just trying, like, y'all are just moving crazy by doing that. Like y'all are punks. Like that is punk behavior. You guys are walking around trying to always like big up yourself, always make yourself sound better than what's actually going on and what's happening. Right. And in turn, what is actually happening is there's a lot of. We're pushing people, and there's a lot of issues in our Muslim community that don't get addressed. Like, there's a lot of people that go through a lot of horrible things where they could use the community
as an outlet.
As an outlet, we can use community funds to support them, but we're not doing that because
we're choosing to
convert 5 people to guarantee our spot in Jannah. Like, what?
Right.
And like,
I just feel like the focus is shifted.
The focus is shifted, and it's like this goes back to like this point system and with like religion, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's just like a lot of people, like now y'all are worried like, oh, I converted X amount of people, I'm going to Jannah, da da da, and it's just like you guys are already in introducing people into Islam and all this. It's y'all already pushing in that shame and that guilt and that harshness that comes with Islam. So you guys are trying to do interfaith, you're trying to do da'wah, but then what ends up happening is you guys get all these people who have converted, and then
you're just sitting in the corner looking at the sky.
Literally, and it's just like what's happening to converts after they come into Islam. Like now, like you have converts, like I remember one girl converted and thought like she had to change her name. She thought her name was haram or whatever, was un-Islamic.
And that it goes back to the point that Muslims themselves are trying to do the interfaith work where I feel like a convert or a revert, that they had an identity before shifting into Islam. We should not, as individuals, try to take that away because that is a part of them. Exactly. Just because the girl's name is Amanda, I'm going to be like, no, now you converted to Islam. You need to change your name to Maryam or Fatima. No, like let people move in their own time frame. Like, because I just feel like converts shifting into Islam is already like a shocker. So I just feel like Muslims trying to get the point like, oh, let me get to her first or let me get to him first and be like, sister, don't do this, don't do that. But then you guys just, you guys are just like disappearing.
Out here hunting for what?
The gazelle, are you the predator or are you the prey? Which one are you? Like, and to me, that's just sad because you have a lot of these converts / reverts that are transitioning into Islam and then we're just leaving them at the doorstep.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't even get the chance to see the beauty of Islam. They don't even get the chance to actually connect with. Well, maybe they do get the chance because they.
It's either extreme or it's either on the low end.
So it's either extreme or it's extreme. So
no,
yeah,
I be telling people like,
and that empathy is not extended to them. It's just a lot of this forceful nature and like this is how you have to do everything. And then what also comes with that too, though, is just like when what I've been noticing in the Muslim community over the past couple of years too is like there's just a lot of polarization as well as like intolerance of other beliefs that people in Islam might have, and it's never ever that deep.
I just feel like Muslims, the shift of Muslims is that you have a lot of people that are either going to come off super extreme or you're going to have people that are, I mean, there's some that are in the middle or you have people that just don't care. And then I just feel like it's always those extreme people that want to push and shove their beliefs and their whatever it is down other people's throats, and not accepting someone else's opinion to me is just ridiculous.
It is. And it's not that deep to be out here calling people kuffar or to be out here calling people all kinds of names just because, you know, they do something slightly different.
And that's why, like I said last week, I will send my kids to the Christians, okay? To go study than to sit up here and deal with the shenanigans that goes on within the Muslim schools and the whatever it is. To me, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
It is, and it's also like we got to think about how we're raising our kids into that same type of environment, right? So I don't know about you, but like when I was a kid and I wore hijab pretty young when I was like 10, 11 years old, and it just was a lot of the time in anything that had to do with Islam, because like Muslims. Like, don't get me wrong, Muslims are under attack in America. Like, people can talk crazy about us in the media. People can talk crazy about us on social media, and there's, like, no repercussions. Like, it's literally, Islamophobia is very accepted.
Okay. People used to talk about the Prophet, peace be upon him, and all that. So it's the same thing. So it goes back to shifting of focus. I'm just saying, no shade, but...
No, you...
Same thing. Did he sit up there and was like, let me pick a fight with so-and-so? No, absolutely. He kept doing his thing.
Wow, great example.
And there it is.
Good job. That was good. I felt that.
And there it is. So,
yeah.
So I feel like when Muslims be trying to come for me, I'd be like, listen, if the Prophet was here, peace be upon him, y'all wouldn't be doing 95% of the shenanigans y'all doing now. Like, go sit down somewhere. To me, it's just ridiculous. And it's so crazy because I feel like they put culture, they value culture over Islam.
Yeah.
Like, I know they do this a lot.
They value perception over Islam.
Yeah. I just be like, not today.
And it sucks too because like y'all have, like, it's already hard growing up as a kid in Islam. But like Firdaus was saying, like, as Muslims, we really need to do the work to where we're separating ourselves from Islam. And what I mean by that is we're separating our identity and who we are. And we weave it into Islam, of course, but we need to also recognize that we are a person first. And I think that, especially if you're someone that wears hijab and you go out into the world, you can really feel lost. You can really feel like... And the community doesn't make it any easier where it feels like you're carrying Islam on your back. You're carrying Muslims on your back when you're out interacting in the world. It's just to like raise your kids and have them, anytime they're having issues regarding like, just like in school or whatever, at least for me personally, I remember when I would get asked a lot of questions about hijab and all that kind of stuff, it always felt like even in my answers, it's always to make sure that like Islam looks in the best light or always like is perceived so positively. But me myself, like, I don't think I even understood why I was wearing hijab. Like, I don't even understand why I'm believing the things I'm believing. Like, I don't even have that strong belief foundation yet. But I was definitely coached into answering those questions in a way that made Muslims look favorable instead of me actually going and instead of me at these schools and like actually learning what these things mean to me, obviously like in an age appropriate way, whatever. And so it's like, if we're really looking at this pipeline now, we're having these kids setting up to school facing Islamophobia or questions or whatever, even though it seems like it's a lot better now than when we were kids. But it's like they're facing these situations. And then now these kids are literally at school giving dawah, like since like 10, 11, whatever years old. And then, look at the value and the emphasis that we're placing on that. When a lot of, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of the dawah the Prophet Muhammad did was literally through his character. Was literally through how strong the community was by how honorably that people acted. But it's like we've invested so much. I feel
like people just think that Islam is dawah. is
Yeah.
literally, I feel like, the times that we live in. So if
Yeah.
you do not give da'wah, a lot of, depending on which madhab or depending on which masjid you go to, like, you're not doing enough, or you don't know what's going on in somebody's personal life. So I always tell people, you don't know the battle that someone is battling. So they might be giving da'wah by, comforting someone, or they might be giving da'wah by, I don't know, whatever the circumstance is.
Yeah.
Like, worry about what you are doing and stop worrying about what everyone and their mother is doing.
Yeah. Like, and this is where we're getting to, like, why Muslims are weak, is because we've put all of that, we put all of our words onto whether these people will accept us or not.
Right.
Or we have turned Islam into something palatable, and where it's something that everyone can digest or whatever. And it's like, Islam is for everyone, all that kind of stuff. But, like, there's no shame in saying, I do this because I believe in Allah and Allah has commanded this of me.
Right.
But I feel like as Muslims, we don't feel like that's enough. And I feel like if you don't have fear in your heart, if you believe in Allah and if you're strong in that, you can really just say, like, I believe in this because God said so. Because personally, me, I don't know if you remember the videos, they're probably all around WhatsApp now, where it's just like those compilations of, like, nature or whatever, and how it shows you that, like, God is real and Islam is real, and, like, this is the science behind that. I've seen all those my whole life, and that never ever, like, that did nothing for me. Yeah, I'm not good at science. I just would see that and be like, okay, but, like,
so shift the focus.
Yeah, shift the focus. If we had just focused on believing in God and what that looks like and the spirituality of it, I just really feel like that could be a lot more of a natural progression. And that could be a natural progression in our kids too. So I'm not saying don't explain why we do things. And I'm not saying, like, don't go out there and, like, show Islam what it is. But I think, like, as Muslims, we just also have to be strong in our beliefs instead of always just being here trying to convince others and convince ourselves.
Right. And I feel like it starts with you. I feel like
Yeah.
the concept that a lot of Muslims forget is that they need to give the da'wah to themselves first before I can go to someone else and try to give them da'wah. Because if I'm not giving the da'wah to myself and checking myself and my character, how can I go out there and do it to someone else just because I'm trying to collect some hasanats?
That's what I'm saying.
To me, that's just ridiculous.
Why was I out here trying to give da'wah in 5th grade?
But do you know why?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, people just
so a lot of kids are molded into
Exactly.
it because, I see my mom and my dad doing it, or but they don't know the purpose behind it.
Yeah,
you know what
and
I mean?
it's also tough too because it's like a lot of times in our community, it's just like, if you're not Muslim, you're going to hell. And so I was just like, dang, I like my friends, but they're not Muslim. I don't want them to go to hell, so now I have to convert them. And so, you know how many other people I've talked to that have literally, like, have tried to do this too, where it's just like, and I'm literally 10. Like, what?
But
like,
what does it say?
Why is it that focus, like, that strong of a belief that I have to convert someone? Let me guarantee that we're gonna go to Jannah together.
But you have to. The only thing that's guaranteed is your akhlaq. Okay, let's talk about that. So if people, akhlaq is like your character.
Oh,
so
okay.
you can't sit there and that's the thing that I hate. When I say hate, I hate it with a passion in my spirit and in my soul. That Muslims always be like, not all of them, but the majority of them be like, oh, they're non-Muslim, they're going to hell or something.
Yeah.
First of all, you can't even make a statement like that. Who are you? I didn't know that you are, Malik al-Maut over here, or the guardian of hell, talking about you and you. Like, I don't know. It just be making me so mad because Muslims literally make something so complicated when it's so simple in simplicity.
Yeah.
But no, we want to sit up there and be worried about, oh my God, why is Sabrina not wearing the hijab no more? She's wearing a turban. Let me go give her dawah on to cover your neck or something like that. You don't know. Or, oh my God, your clothes is tight. You don't know. Maybe I gained some pounds, or maybe I just had a kid, or maybe I just had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Why are people so worried about what everybody else? Like, always remember there's 4 fingers pointing back at you. Worry about yourself. And I feel like even if you are trying to give dawah, give the dawah where you are not going to shame the person.
Yeah.
I hate when you are in masjid settings, especially during Ramadan, and then you have people that feel that, oh, just because I watch a couple YouTubes, or just because I listen to this sheikh, now I'm like a mufti. You ain't no mufti, so go sit in a corner somewhere. And then you want to sit up and be like, sister, you're going to hell because you don't have socks on because you're praying. praying? Or sister, I can see your neck. Or the most famous one, why do you have nail polish while you're praying? Your prayer is not valid. Worry about yourself. I feel like if you pull someone to the side and be like, hey, sister, I don't know if you know or not, but in Islam, you're not, they say like, let the water touch all of the nails. Maybe next time. I just feel like that comes off different than if someone is going to try to come and attack me. Because if you're attacking me, now you're coming for me.
And it's just like, if I don't know you, I'm not listening to you at all.
But I just feel like, especially during Ramadan, I don't care what nobody tell me. I feel like there is a lot of haram police is what I call them.
Isn't shaitan supposed to be locked up?
Listen, people's true colors show. So that's why I be like, all these harami police out here trying to give da'wah and trying to do this and do that. How about you worry about yourself? Yeah. How about you do that?
And then, so I feel like that's one extreme, right, of where we have Muslims. And then the other extreme is the ones that are wanting to go out here and be accepted by everybody, right? Those are the two.
But you're never going to be accepted.
And you're not. So y'all out here having a whole Christmas tree.
Listen, my whole Christian friend said that she went to a Muslim household and she was like, I have never seen somebody decorate, had a whole Christmas tree, had the presents, underneath the tree. She was like, that's wild.
Yeah.
So why are you guys trying to get accepted by all these other people, or you're trying to do... To me, that's just crazy. The whole Christmas stuff.
And you guys are not even keeping that same energy for Ramadan or for Eid. Like, why are you guys trying to work on Eid? Why are you guys working on Eid? If y'all don't call up 3 days...
But y'all have that same energy for Christmas.
Yeah, they have the same energy for Christmas.
Okay.
All the time. And it's very crazy. Like, you know what I want to see? My wish for this year, inshallah, is on Eid al-Adha, we will all get goat piñatas.
Okay.
And I just feel like we can really turn that into a thing.
Listen, I'm here for it.
Isn't that lit?
That's lit.
Because
I'll be here for it.
Because we be slaughtered. But it's just like that. Like, how many times I gotta eat? Like, we really be looking dressed up, okay? Nope. First of all, people don't even get dressed up the way Muslims get dressed up on Eid. I don't know any other holiday. We're going to weddings. And we go to this masjid. We're praying in congregation. It's a grand old time. And then everybody just going home and doing nothing after. Like, why are we not turning it up on Eid?
Well, I get turned up, so I don't know. Mm-hmm.
I just don't be seeing the same level of turn up.
Well, I feel like, and that's what I'm saying, like, it's so different overseas than it is here. Because overseas, they be lit.
Yeah, the American Muslim community,
I don't know what y'all doing.
They're the only ones trying to, I think, really get validation.
Well, they better go get validation somewhere else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Shoot. Because my thing is, like, you don't see these non-Muslims trying to sit up here and be like, oh, let me go and get dressed up for Eid, or like, Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr. You don't see them putting that same energy. But we could put that energy plus 10 into Christmas or into... Thanksgiving. And my thing is, like, with Thanksgiving, I don't care. I feel like sometimes Thanksgiving brings people together. Because I feel like at the end of the day, it's your intention. Which I'm perfectly fine with that. But my thing is, like, I feel like when people are going beyond... Or, like, Easter. That's a new one. Yeah. What are you doing? Because, like, some people be thinking, like, at this point, you're making shit at this point because you're celebrating Jesus. Yeah. Or Christmas. So I just feel like it's
Christians
just...
out here that are also just like, Christmas is not a real holiday. So what are you celebrating?
I don't know. We're celebrating to try to get the validation from these Americans that
don't. And at the end of the day, these Americans, they think you're a terrorist. They don't think you're a terrorist, and there's nothing you can do about that. That's a personal problem. That's really a personal problem.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying this all in that we need to just be acting with a lot more
common sense.
A lot more common sense, a lot more faith and we just need to be stronger overall, because we don't need to be out here accepting all and any kind of representation.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, like, when the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he passed away, and then we started having the divide of Islam.
Yeah.
And so I feel like now it's like, to me, it seems like we're having this shift in Islam in the Western world where you have people trying to bring in other interfaiths, religions, or whatever holidays into Islam. And now you have the confusion of Muslim kids.
Yeah.
Why are you celebrating this and celebrating that?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Christian holiday.
Yeah.
Or some people think it's like a Halloween, which is like, what do they call it? The pagan holiday or something like that. So now not only are you creating a confusion within the kids, you are also, I feel like, confusing yourself. Like, there's nothing
confused.
wrong, right? I just feel like there's nothing wrong with, like, if you want to sell it, you want to dress up for Halloween or whatever, do you. But I just feel like when you're taking it to the extreme and you're like going out of your way to like make sure that I need to dress up for this or dress up for that and do this and do that, to me that's just that's a lot.
It is, and then you're doing like a lot of that interfaith stuff of where they're trying to celebrate everything. Like y'all are really doing that at the expense of the Muslim community. Because, for example, when we had that one event here, there was it was some white man. I don't know who this white man is. They invited this man to the masjid. And this man was, prior to this invite, or like a few years prior to it, he was coming to the masjid to bomb the masjid or do a terrorist attack on the masjid. The police he got caught by the police, and then now we're inviting him. He got caught by the police, went to jail, whatever, converted to Islam, and now we're inviting him back into the masjid to give a talk. What are you talking to us about? You need to go talk to KKK. Why are you in the Muslim community talking to us about how you wanted to kill us? For what reason? For this, like, I really genuinely don't understand what I could have learned from that conversation.
Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said the reason why he did not do anything is because he heard the adhan go off. I think that's what it was, or something like that.
He needs to go tell that to the Ku Klux Klan.
I can't.
Why is he telling us? What that, like, that has nothing to do with us, and it's just again shows, like, the extent that Muslims will throw Muslims under the bus for the sake of non-Muslim validation. Like, this man literally confessed that he was like, yeah, I was about to kill all y'all. And now I'm going to come and tell you guys about it. And y'all going to pay him to come speak? With the funds that you're raising as a mission?
But you guys cannot sit up there and pay, sisters that have been abused by their husbands and stuff like that to come out and speak about that, or... I don't know. I just feel like the shift is just...
It's crazy. And the focus is not there. Perspective is not there. But... at this masjid, what they did, they had a person in their community, in the Somali community, had passed away. And they needed to raise money for a funeral. Okay. They chose not to. They didn't give money to this family to bury this person. Why? So they're black. Like, I feel like that's like the number one reason why.
But that's the same thing that happened with the New York thing, where people were saying, oh, the Muslims...
What happened in New York?
Where they had that fire, like there was a lot of Muslims. It was refugee Muslims, but they were all from Africa. And then people were commenting, and then Cardi B gave money. I believe it was Cardi B. Wow. Yeah, shout out Cardi B. Yeah, to me that's crazy. Like, you had a whole but y'all couldn't sit up there, and so people were going in on the comments talk about, oh, if they were like from an Arab country, or if they were from something else, you guys would have hurried up and gave. Money or something like that. And it's sad because I literally see both points of it, because it's true. If you have a white Arab or if you have versus a black Arab, people are going to raise the money towards the white one before they do the black one. Point blank in the period. And I don't care what nobody tells me, racism exists within the Muslim community.
You guys are raising all these funds or whatever, but you guys are not wanting to actually support the community when they need to be supported. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
A lot of things don't make sense. Yeah. Where the funds going doesn't make sense.
Publish the receipts.
Who are these people that you are bringing and paying? Yeah. That sometimes come in and they don't even know what they're talking about. So
just be accepted. Yeah,
just because and my thing is, like, I need to see credentials. I don't care what nobody tells me. Listen, anybody can go overseas and get a piece of paper. You can pay somebody and they can give you a piece of paper and bam. Yeah. But if I'm having a conversation with you and the conversation doesn't make sense, please show me your credentials.
And then just, this is a side note, like, why do y'all be letting everybody on the mic?
Not everybody needs to be on the mic.
Not everybody, but the mic, it just seems like everyone can get on it.
Listen.
Like, after Jeremiah, y'all cannot be lining up for that. It's just...
At this point...
They just can't.
Please stand up. Get to the mic. For real.
For real. And so, it's just...
I don't know. This topic be stressing me out.
This topic be stressing me out, too. Because...
We could be doing so much better.
We could be doing so much better, but y'all want to do so much better for the white people. For the white men. Y'all want to put all... And then you guys also want to put all that work onto hijabi women to do. And we can't even find ourselves.
Not find yourself.
We don't even know who we are, and it's just it's very embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. I think I think this also goes hand in hand with like representation in the media as Muslims.
Right.
I feel like we don't need representation everywhere.
No.
I don't think there's an issue with showing Muslims in a normal way. Like just doing normal activities, whatever.
Right.
You know. For example, Rami. The show
Right.
Rami. He was doing everything. But the way that had me look at myself crazy, the way I had to reflect after watching that, I was really just like, why do we be doing that?
Because I feel like a lot of it is cultural.
A lot of it is cultural, a lot of it is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there's this one Netflix show, oh my god, I wish I knew the clip of it, but it's literally this dude, he was dating some girl, I don't know, and he's mid-prayer, like he literally went to the Ruku', and then he looked up, the girl's there.
Okay.
Staring at him. First of all, why is she in front of him?
Okay.
And then I don't know, she starts dancing. I don't know if they're doing ballet or whatever. And this man just joins in. And I was like, you're not even going to say salams? You're not even going to say salam alaikum? You just going to start...
Mm-mm.
You just going to start dancing with her? Like, what?
It's a temptation.
And it's just like, we don't need the representation if it's going to look like that.
Right. They did that in, like, The Orange. What is that show? Something Orange? There's a show that was on Netflix also where they were having like representation of hijabi women in jail. It's just you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Orange is the New Black.
Orange is the New Black. I mean,
I feel like they'd be hijabis in jail. Are they allowed to
right.
hijab in there?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know what's going on. If it's all female, might as well. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Something else that really bothers me, if you know your morals and your values, and if you like had a very good ground foundation of what Islam is, then you should not allow someone to shift it. So I know, like, I was having this conversation with a sister last week, and this might be TMI, but hey, it is what it is. But she was telling me, like, her husband was asking her for sexual favors from the back. And I was like, sister, it's absolutely 1000%. Yeah, like haram. I was like, it clearly specifically says it. And what like threw me off is like, she said that she had this conversation with 2 different sheikhs and they did not give her a clear cut answer. I was like, girl, we can give you the answer right now. We can go to Google and Google will tell you that it is haram. Yeah. So it just annoys me that when it comes to the Muslim community, they literally pick and choose what they want to put their energy into and what they do not want to. So
and all of that energy that they're putting into, it's so self-serving. Like they're putting energy into things that are going to make, and this goes back to make Muslims look good, make white people approve of. First of all, it's so embarrassing. That's so cringe that y'all are acting like that. Who cares about the white man? But it's just like y'all really are devaluing yourself. You're devaluing your community. All for what?
And I just feel like, to me, it's crazy how we're doing all of the things, and then Muslims that are actually like following what it says in the hadith and the sunnah and not bringing culture into it have to now clean up the mess of the Muslims that were bringing in culture and different religions into it and trying to make it about Islam. To me, that's just crazy. It's the same thing like in Christianity. If people want to drink, whatever. If you want to fornicate, do whatever you want to do. You're going to the grave by yourself. You're not going to be like, God, can I phone a friend? Can I bring in some? No, that's between you, yourself, and I. So that's why I just tell people, like, I could care less what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, you're being judged by yourself. It's just
you have to, this is a thing, like, Muslims are also lacking. It's like, we need to have a more accountability for ourselves in our relationship with Allah. Like, and we need to really understand that responsibility of ourselves or over ourselves.
And my thing is, like, that's why I always go back to, it's the person's intention. You don't know. Exactly. That's why it says, like, what does the hadith say? It says you never know who the friend of Allah is. You don't know. Maybe the person, the sister that wears tight clothes and the one that doesn't wear the hijab has a better relationship with Allah than the sister that has the hijab. Exactly. Just because you have a garment over your head. Exactly. Yeah. mind your business.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people, I be like, mind your business.
Literally.
Are you going to the grave with me?
Exactly.
All right, bye.
And I feel like not minding your business is at this point is just a sign of like weak iman or weak understanding of what Islam and Allah is, because Islam is not this hyper focus on everybody else. It's a hyper focus on yourself and your own spiritual being and that relationship with Allah. So it's not out here getting validation from white people. It's not out here getting validation from non-Muslims. It's not getting validation from other Muslims where you guys want to be performative and, you know, Allahu Akbar as long as you can. I'm going to read Surah Al-Baqarah just to show that I know it. You know what I mean? Like
it's a validation from yourself.
It's a validation from yourself, and you can get that validation through your relationship with Allah.
Hello. Speaking to the microphone.
This thing on?
Yes. But that's why it's just like, I don't know. Muslims just be doing too much in the West.
They be doing too much.
For no reason.
And it's really weakening. I think it's really weakening our community because
it is. And that's why people don't go no
as
more.
Our community, our intention is lost. Our empathy is lost. Our compassion is lost. And now it's like we're fighting each other and we're fighting the oppressive system.
I feel like it's not even that. I feel like it's not even so much fighting each other. I feel like you have masjids that want to be on top instead of coming as a unity. Because what does the hadith say? The hadith says, want for your brother what you would want for yourself. So if you cannot want for me what you would want for yourself, I just feel like that's whack-jack. Like, you need to go do some deep soul searching, and you need to have a conversation with Rabbul Alameen and be sincere about it, because all these narcissistic people and this narcissistic world that we are creating is to me just mind-boggling. And then you have people that are older in the community are so thrown off, like, oh, these people that have opinions, because I guess like you can't have opinion as a Muslim, that if you sit up there and disagree with an elder at the masjid, all of a sudden you are being disobedient and you're a kafir and you're being disrespectful. And to me, it's just like, listen.
Islam is a religion of justice, and we need to be standing up.
Hello. No. and that leads into what? That leads into the
community stories. Bam, 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 bam.
Choose it as Sins or Salaams. And let us know what you think, because this is like a wild story.
Yeah, so last week, if you guys listened all the way through, what we were asking you guys is to send any stories or concerns or any thoughts you have on, you know, what topics we've talked about, or just anything you want to get off your chest about the Muslim community. And we'll talk about it on here, give our own thoughts and opinions. So we do have our first story this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this, and then for Dr. Firdaus, we're going to want your thoughts afterwards.
All right.
So this is from a sister here in our community. So she says, y'all, I made a mistake tonight by attending Al-Haq. Al-Haq is a local masjid, I know. I've never been a fan of it because of the people who attend and who have easily made many Muslims stop attending the masjid because of their ugly character and behaviors. Tonight, I, along with a young child and my sister, were threatened to be arrested by Mum Jara for sitting against the wall at the start of Taraweeh. This woman was yelling and being beyond disrespectful as she normally is, all while people were making salah. She brings the officer in and hopes to escort us out as he is looking confused as there is no danger or emergency. Keep in mind, this officer is not Muslim either, and this is an example of how Muslims are being shown. She continues to say it's the rules of the imam that we cannot be in the masjid if we are not standing to pray, even though there was no talking, no disturbance or distraction to be heard except for her loud threats. She again threatens me that she will bring in the officer, and of course I told her to bring the security as she has no right to speak anyway to me or other people's children. I spoke to the officer himself, and he explained he's there just for protection only, and even chuckled at her behaviors. I also spoke to the imam about how many people don't attend this masjid because of her, only for him to say that's not her job to act like that. I requested for him to have her apologize to both me and the mother of the child who felt scared at the threats of this woman, with him saying he can't make anyone apologize and that was never her job to act like that or be in control. Masjid Fitna. That's a banger. That's a banger for real. Masjid Fitna really is a reminder that there are Muslims who can really push other Muslims away from Islam easily. I did not shy away from protecting my rights and for the rights of the children around me, whether that's speaking up against some ignorant woman, officer, or head of the masjid. For those of you who already have their feelings about Masjid Fitna, I know y'all. I know I set myself up for even attending, and please miss me with its Ramadan, cover sins. LOL, if that's y'all's friend, go have tea with her. Hashtag Masjid Fitna Chronicles. Hashtag Jin Stories.
For real.
Oh, comedian. So what'd you think?
It ain't no comedian, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's so annoying to me that because on that post, like, people were giving their opinions. And so you have people from the community that are always trying to defend negative behavior. My thing is, like, this person has been known in the community to always sit up there and, you know, whether you're during during prayer or something, always clapping super loud, always like talking like, hey, get your kid, doing all this extracurricular things, then her purpose there to worship. So for me, I had made a comment on there, and then where I was like, I think if a grown adult has the audacity to threaten a child, then absolutely I would have called 911 and had that person arrested, point blank, in the period. I don't care if you're Muslim. It does not matter, because at this point, stop trying to bring Islam into it or whatever. I'm looking at the individual and their behavior. Yeah. And so it just annoys me that Muslims are always trying to push stuff under the rug and don't talk about it. And then when you have someone come out and speak about it, all of a sudden, let's attack the victim and let's victimize them and make them feel some type of way. Shenanigans.
Yeah. And I think the person that, wrote this, I think she shows a great example of what it looks like for Muslims not to be weak. Because she saw an injustice and she stood up and she said, you're not going to speak to me. You're not going to speak to this person next to me. You're not going to speak to any of us like that. Because we're in this masjid, this house of Allah, and we're allowed to be in this masjid.
Right. And
this, literally, what you're doing is oppressive. And I think that this goes into how we're saying that Muslims are weak, because, like, y'all are so focused on this image of Islam that, like, you have Muslims literally being oppressed and you're silent. You have the haram police out here policing everything but what's actually haram. And it's just very crazy, because it's like, if we were strong, we could easily have a lot of people stand up and strongly condemn these types of actions. And
Absolutely.
we don't.
And
we've made it such a tough environment to do that now everybody just leaves.
When you create an environment that is toxic and where this person is known for their negative behavior, we're taught as Muslims, like, oh, don't say nothing to your elders, or don't say nothing. No, but my thing is, like, I'm going to go with the hadith and what the sunnah is. If I feel like I'm being oppressed, or if I like someone is taking my rights away, you best believe I am going to stand up. And if you feel offended, that sounds like a personal problem. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care if you are an imam, a sheikh, whatever. If I see an injustice in your behavior and how you are treating your local Muslim, because I guarantee you, if that was a non-Muslim, you would not be acting like that. You just be like, oh, is there anything that I can do for you? Do you need anything?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But then here comes a fellow Muslim, you want to act a whole fool.
Yeah.
So don't be mad if the Muslim's going to act a fool right back to you, because whatever energy you give out, you are going to reciprocate that.
Yeah.
Point blank in the period.
It's also the going to the authorities for me.
It was the thing that the non-Muslim was like confused. Yeah. So now you're creating this stereotypical image of what Muslims are and how crazy we are, because he was just like, well, I'm confused while I'm being brought up in here, because you're Muslims, not even,
I just want to know,
you're not even a threat.
Muslims be wanting
the attention.
They be wanting the image of being crazy at this point.
They're
wanting that.
And she got it. She got it that
actually
night.
Think, like, y'all really be standing up for stuff that's not even, like, just never that serious, instead of standing up for stuff that really is. Like, we could really sit here and just be like, you're like...
But what's so serious about that? Like, I want to talk about that. Like, what is so...
But you want to bring a whole police... Like, you
want to
be so tough and, like, have this whole... just show off your power and be so intimidating for what? Because someone sat down in the middle
to take a break. To take a break.
Yeah.
But then you have other people coming over here and try to defend her and then try to make other people feel some type of way. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like I said, point blank in the period. If I feel some type of way about something and I see something, I'm going to say it. And if you feel offended by it, sounds like a personal problem.
It does. And it's just like, y'all need to learn how to stand up. You guys can be proud Muslims without being crazy.
I just don't understand what was the point of the authority. Like, what is it? If we were back in the time of the prophet where they used to have swords and stuff like that,
yeah.
Ooh, what are we
That's
gonna?
what I'm saying. We be having outrageous responses. Even this is an example of it happening like in the masjid, but even online on social media, the way y'all be under a lot of Muslim girls' comments, the way y'all be, they just be minding their own business, and you guys have so much to say, and so much.
I hope you have a lot of stuff to say on the Day of Judgment. How about that? I hope you have that same energy on the Day of Judgment. Like no.
People live.
And stop. Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't serve anything, and it's just like why? Like it doesn't make sense why we're doing that. And this also goes back to like what I was saying earlier about like World Hijab Day and how that's dumb, because it's like, look, now we're bringing in all these white people to come to the masjid to learn about hijab. Oh, I tried on a hijab. I'm Muslim for a day. Isn't what? What?
It's kind of like a mockery.
It's a mockery. Like, you don't know what it's like for Muslim women to wear hijab just because you came in. Like, I don't understand what we're celebrating about wearing hijab. God said you're gonna wear hijab, so you wear hijab. That's it.
My thing is like it's not only in Islam, but it's also in Judaism and Christianity.
Yeah.
So, but I just feel like Muslims had made it this big old
and they do.
deal.
And the thing is, and then we have people that even in America too. It's not even overseas. In America, overseas, whatever, that are using Islam to oppress others.
Yep.
To oppress, like they're using hijab to oppress other women in other countries.
Yep.
But you guys are so scared to look crazy in front of white people that we can't even help our Muslim brothers and sisters overseas.
Absolutely.
Like there are Muslims in Chinese concentration camps right now.
Absolutely.
Like that seems like a bigger deal to me. We have Rohingya Muslims fighting for their lives. That seems like a bigger deal to me.
Right.
But y'all are over here trying to show white people that we're human too. Get out of here. You guys are so embarrassing. Like, y'all should be ashamed for real. And, God gonna ask y'all one day. I don't know. Because personally, me, y'all just need to be able to stand up and say what you gotta say. And, like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's a hard journey to get to that point. Like, even for me, like, for a long time, I was, like, scared of death or, like, scared of what's happening after life and all this kind of stuff. But, like, they just gotta come to a point where it's just, like, if you believe in Allah, you need to trust in Allah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
And you're never ever gonna have control over that. You're never ever gonna have control over what people think of Muslims.
You're never gonna have control over anything
at all. So you just act in accordance with Islam. Act in accordance with Allah. Act justly. Act honestly.
Absolutely. And if someone is at the masjid, acting a fool and is it oppressing you or making you feel some type of way, or is bullying you, 1,000% stand up to them. And if you feel like they're threatening them, call the authorities.
Literally last night at Tadawir, this is what I'm saying, Ramadan shenanigans are just like a different level. We're sitting in the, how there's part of the men's areas like for women, even praying there, some of the women like to cover up in the front. Like, they put, how they put the little curtains? Mm-hmm. So someone like to put curtains in the front. And this girl yesterday got mad that we had a curtain in the front blocking us from the men. And she's like, we've never ever prayed like this. Why do you guys need to do this? Da, da, da. And it's like, why are you going so hard for that for?
Right.
Like, just because they put that barrier there, okay? And, like, y'all fighting the wrong cause. Some Muslim women feel comfortable being more hidden from men. And that's just that.
See, it's the focus.
And that's what I'm saying. And y'all are so out here trying to prove. You see, this is even within the community. Y'all trying to prove to Muslim men that Muslim women could do that, whatever. Muslim women are independent, all this kind of stuff. When actual Muslim women are uncomfortable with the decision you're making. So, like, you're just trying to serve yourself. You're really everything you're doing is self-serving. It's like, girl, like, it's just never ever that deep. And then you know what they did? They ended up covering it because y'all just really fighting over dumb stuff at this point.
Right. Listen, ain't nothing ever deep.
It's never that deep.
But we make it deep for no reason, and we make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. When it says Islam, you're fried.
Once I learn how to fight,
she said, "You is fried."
I'm gonna be talking crazy because, like, I think that's the only way these people gonna hear it at this point.
I feel like when you start standing up for what you believe in and what you people are gonna attack you.
Yeah.
The simple fact that I had messages sent to me privately because I defended this sister.
Yeah.
And then you're attacking me. To me, that's just wild. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's never that deep. And for the simple fact that I had an opinion about something and you're mad because I didn't agree with your opinion, you're gonna. I just think that's crazy. Somebody send me over 10 paragraphs. Like, it's never that deep to me.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Like, keep it pushing. But like I said, if you are in a situation, you feel like somebody, whether it's a Muslim, non-Muslim, whatever the situation is, stand up for yourself. Because listen, ain't nobody gonna stand up for yourself but you.
At all.
Point blank in the period.
And people will treat you the way you let them treat you.
And there it is. And I don't know why people be so shocked. Like, oh my God. And I tell people, I'll be like, listen, Ramadan, he be showing you people's true characters.
Yeah.
So if my thing is like, if you're acting a fool during the Ramadan, I'm gonna just go ahead and just take that into your character, and it is what it is. So,
because man's is supposed to be locked, and y'all unlocking him.
I'm rolling. She said, he said, clink clink, locked away, gone. So I don't know. So gosh. I just feel like we just need to do better as Muslims. But I feel like this is just gonna always be a debate until the day of judgment, because you're always going to have a Muslim or a Muslim country that's going to think they're better than somebody, or you're going to have some, listen, Arabs always think that they're on top. I'm going to go ahead and let you know.
Yeah.
So then you have the Arabs, and then you have the Arabs like, oh, you guys are from Africa, so you're below us. And to me, there's always like a competition. That's, and my thing is like, if Muslims unite, you guys would be unstoppable. Yeah. Like, just... stop fighting. Like when they be going to jail and they be like, just stop fighting. Just listen, I was watching like Criminal Minds, and they were like, stop fighting within. Just let it be. That's how I feel like with Muslims, like stop fighting within yourselves and within other Muslim countries. Just to me, it's just crazy, because Islam says like you're supposed to be united, you're supposed to be accepting of like whatever someone looks like, but you guys are like the top critics in this.
See, and this is why I'm Islamophobic.
Listen,
I do have that internalized Islamophobia, and I think it's here to stay, because every time I be trying to go to the masjid, and I be really trying to give y'all the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, y'all on your own. This podcast is my last chance. It's their last chance. It's the last chance. But anyway, guys, we're just telling you guys this because. I think the thing we're just going to end on is like, please listen to this and hold your own selves accountable, and think about your relationship with Allah again. Think about your spirituality and what that really means, and learn to have the strength to stand up for yourself in all capacities, and learn that it's not shameful to be Muslim. It's not shameful to have a belief in God. It's not shameful to do things that align with Islam. And just be proud of who you are and what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, nobody can tell you nothing. And we're all going to die, so.
Yep. And there it is.
That's it.
Peace out.
A little sad, but that's it. Bye.